Alright, Junior's Fishing Company with another little how-to. So every tire is going to be a little bit different, whether you're tying jigs or a size 24 ant. Everyone has their little things that they do a little bit differently, or things that they're picky about. If you've watched any of my jig videos, you know, or you've seen that I'm really picky about the collar of a jig. You see some collars online that are like this big, and it's not even really going to change how the jig swims. It's more of an aesthetic thing that after you tie so many jigs, you just start to come up with little ways to make it how you want it. So this is an ugly old jig that I found buried in the back. I didn't want to use anything good. So to make my collar as small as I can, I'm going to cord up my thread. I'm going to get my thread as far up on this head as I can. And I'm using black hair and pink thread to hope that it shows up. So I've cut my hair. I've got a little bit sitting out. Usually you don't have quite as much sitting out when you're going to tie on halfway down. I'm going to take my hair and I'm going to put it above my head, kind of like that. Now my thread's corded up, so I'm going to give it one loose wrap. I'm going to pull down a little bit, then I'll give it a second wrap, and I'm going to wrap on the right side of the other one, or right over it. I'm going to pull down towards my head, and I'll give it a third wrap. And what I don't want to do is I never want to go back. That's the one thing I'm going to try to avoid. I can give this a little bit of pressure, and then I'm just going to, do what you would always do. And I'm going to work this all the way around my jig. Just like you've probably done a million times. So I've got it around, and again, I'm doing this quick. I'm going to get that flare out, because this is from the bottom of the tail. And then I'm going to do my best to give it a couple good tight wraps and keep as much of these butts on my right towards the head as I can. You can always trim out some hairs, because especially if there's a lot of flare, these hairs are going to want to at least stand straight up and not point this way. So if I were to ream on this, it would probably, all of these hairs would come up, but I don't really want that. So I'm going to kind of take my time, and again, I just don't want to go farther back, because that's going to make my collar much bigger than I want it. And I'm really just trying to get this hair settled in. And if I wrap a couple of those longer ones, that's alright. So now I've got a few good wraps on there. And I'm going to take a razor blade and I'm going to go right up with my pink. I'm just going to kind of like you're spinning deer hair, and it's dark outside. So if you ever just need, a light or something like that, because you don't want, this pink is so easy to see, where I can just get right up on it, and I have those wraps, so if I were to hit the pink thread, I'd be alright, because I have a few wraps on there. The black is just hard to see. I have a black head. I should have thought this out a little bit more, but so I'm going to get that all trimmed up. And again, I'm trying to make this quick. I want to make sure and get all the hairs. I don't want to leave any behind, especially if this was like a white deer hair and a black head. If you leave one, and I can see some pink thread. I hit my thread a little bit, but you can see it's not falling. And I've got a bunch of hairs that I'll have to end up trimming. So now I can really just wrap my pink and you can see how thin that collar is. And I didn't use a lot of hair or anything. And then I would come in here, trim off all these little ones that made their way over to here. I was thinking about doing a deer tail video. My brother shot a doe, and it's actually sitting in my sister's freezer right now. It's probably driving her nuts. Because I cleaned quite a few tails, not a ton, but so now I've got a nice little, I mean this is almost a hot spot, but I've got a nice thin collar right at the top. So trimming that, just I don't know why I started doing that, but yeah, nice clean collars. Just maybe it's for my own craziness, but I think it looks a little bit better.